Good morning. It's pretty early for me. I was just up and I felt like streaming. So I was like, okay, I'll go stream then. Oh, sorry, I was just clicking something on the side. I'm going to be continuing Umineko today, and also maybe get into some other games, seeing how I feel afterwards. Where the heck did I put my phone? Oh, it's behind me. Sorry about that. Let me just type something really quickly and then I will just get right into it. I do my little things. I click my little buttons, you know how it is. I hope everyone's having a good day today. Or night, evening, whatever time zone it is. I hope you're having an okay time at least. I'm really excited to continue and see what episode 2 has for us. So far, Jessica has just been teasing Shannon a whole bunch about her crush on George. Because in the last chapter, George and her are engaged, but right now they haven't gotten engaged yet. Let me turn this down a little bit. My headset I should turn down. So yeah, right now, Jessica is probably... Oh yeah, Jessica just suggested last time to Shannon that she should go on like a date thing with George as like practice for George, because apparently he does not get any ladies, which is not surprising to me. We don't like George. Well, I don't. You can like him if you like. You can do whatever you want, actually. When she heard Jessica's audacious plan, Shannon's face turned bright red with a poof, and a donut of smoke started to rise from her head.
それはとても魅力的な提案だけど、シャノちゃんに悪いよ。彼女の貴重な休日を奪うだけじゃない。
Oh, so that's what we were seeing, their pretend date. That was really cute. What the fuck?
本当に思いを寄せる人と二人きりで過ごす聖域に
They went pretty hard for their fake date.
そんな無粋なことはできないね。
She likes you, dummy. Dummy, dummy, dummy.
私も思い人とかそういう人はいませんので、そういうお気遣いは無用なのです。
Aw, she's so cute. Shannon's blood had all rushed to her head, and it looked like even she didn't know what she was babbling about. Jessica, who knew how Jessica normally was, seemed to be finding this hilarious. She couldn't hide her cackling laughter anymore.
そうなのかい？シャノンちゃんみたいな可愛い子が独り身なんて信じられないね。
私
He said, you single? Let me change that. Let me change it. Sorry, I was moving something.
使用人ですから、その
What the fuck did you being a servant have to do
男の
with
方との縁
anything?
なんてありませんし、その
Oh, maybe that's a thing in Japan. I don't know. I think this is... I don't know how rich people are, actually.
ってことは、シャノンも将来素敵な男性を射止めるために交際の練習が必要だってことじゃないのかよ。つまり
Keep doing it, Jessica. Push them together.
なるほど、こりゃいいぜ。
Jessica irresponsibly cheered the two of them on. By now, even George was hanging his head and turning red.
ジョージ、さっきから呼んでるわよ。聞こえないの？
No, he didn't hear you. He was looking at his heart. His love. When Ava appeared in what was already an embarrassing situation, both of them got even more flustered. Jessica watched and laughed loudly.
母さん、ごめんよ、話が込み入っちゃっててね。気づかなかった。
これはエヴァ様、大変失礼しました。
若い子たち同士で大層盛り上がってたみたいね。あなたたちもみんなお年頃だもの。そういう話題が尽きないのもよくわかるわ。
嫌ですね。エヴァおばさんだってまだまだお若いじゃないですか。秀吉おじさんとの馴れ初めを聞かせてくださいよ。
あらあら、そんなの言えるわけないわよ。
Oh, that would be
本当にみん
interesting.
な若いんだか
I
ら。
want to know how they met. Oh, also I forgot to mention, I did get affiliate, which is such a cool goal for me to reach. So thank you to anyone who's been here and supported me. I really do appreciate it.
それで何、母さん。
Even if you just watch VODs or just do whatever, just tune in occasionally for a minute or so. It's really nice. I really appreciate it.
用があっ
Thank you.
て声をかけたんじゃないの？
お父さんたちの話が終わったわ。おじいさまにあなたの話をするからいらっしゃい。
僕の話？何の話かな？
今みんなでしてたのと同じ話よ。
What, are they gonna arrange him with
ほ
someone?
ら、例の話。
ああ、別におじいさまに話すようなことじゃないんじゃないかな。
何の話だよ。まさかジョージ兄さん誰かと結婚するの？
それはおめでとうございます。
Aw, Shannon.
違うよ違うよ。特定の女性はいないってさっき言ったじゃないか。
威張ることじゃないでしょ。まったく。
Ava smiled bitterly, looking a little exasperated.
わかった。ジョージ兄さんあれでしょ。お見合いだ。
お見合いですか？
まあね。
Surely, as a man, George wanted to find a partner by himself and bring her home with him. So it seemed he thought it a bit pathetic to meet his partner for the first time in a marriage meeting arranged by his parents.
お見合いというのはもっと
Are we
年
gonna
齢
meet
が
someone
成熟
new?
してからするものじゃないのかな。僕はまだ一人前になったって自覚すらないというのに。
Interesting.
もちろん、即結納即結婚なんて焦る気は全然ないのよ。
Imagine it's Beatrice. I don't think it would be, but that would be the funniest fucking
年
thing
齢的に
ever.
もう少し落ち着いてから席を入れる形でも問題ないの。
Judging by Ava's forceful attitude and George's non-committal one, the others could catch a glimpse of the story behind this marriage meeting. They didn't know who George was supposed to be meeting, but it was surely someone who would profit Ava's family business in a sense. Or business sense. The fact that they'd be satisfied with a mere engagement to deepen the relationship between the two families rather than an immediate marriage made it almost feel like a political maneuver.
結婚はね、好きになってからするものじゃないの。してから慣れることよ。
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
感情だけで結婚すると必ず後悔する。身元のしっかりした人を生涯の伴侶に選んで、それから愛情を築いていくのも決して間違ったことではないの。
I mean, you can marry whoever you want, but
エヴァおばさん、それじゃ秀吉おじさんに悪いですよ。
私はあの人のこと大好きよ。いつまでも一緒にいて人生を共にしていきたい。
oh,
エヴァ様、素晴らしいです。本当にご立派です。
ありがとう。でもその気持ちは二人で夫婦をしていくうちに育んだものよ。そして今の私たちより未来の私たちの方がもっともっと仲良しだと信じてる。私は夫婦はそういうものがいいと思ってるの。
だからって好きでもない相手と結婚してもいいって論法にはならないと思うけど
Yeah,
な。
that's why. I mean,
だ
unless
か
that's
ら
what
って
you want to
好
do.
きな相手なら誰と結婚してもいいという論法にはならないわ。
It's true
結
too.
婚は一瞬。
Aw, thanks for following, Sky. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a good day.
でもその後の夫婦生活はずっとずっと長いの。
Have you ever played Higurashi or Umineko before?
だから一時の感情に任せず慎重に相手を探すべきなの。そしてそれは人生経験の未熟なあなたよりお母さんたちの方がうまくやれるとは思わない？
それはそうかもしれないけど。
Oh, you should definitely play it then. But you should also play Higurashi, because that's the one I've played fully and I love it so much. That's what my PNG is from. I think that's what it's called. My little Shion thing. She's from Higurashi and she's me.
あなたは私の自慢の一人息子よ。どこへ出しても恥ずかしくないくらい
it would be
立
so
派に成長してくれ
cute
たわ。
if you ever stream and you have a little venti thingy. That would be cute.
バトラ君は席を抜け、あなたが今やお父様の血を引く唯一の男孫。あなたにふさわしい相手は慎重に選ばなくてはな
Yeah,
ら
that'd
ない。
be fun. As everyone related to the Ushiromiya family knew, Eva adored George immensely, but that didn't mean she had pampered him. She had been strict with him and had raised him into a wonderful boy who wouldn't betray her expectations. That was why she treasured him so.
あなたの相手は決して母さんたちの損得で決めてなんかいないわ。あなたにふさわしい本当に素晴らしい女性に母さんが合わせてあげる。今はあなたの中にある青臭い若さがそれを疎むかもしれない。でもこれだけは母さんの言うことを聞きなさい。私があなたのためを思わなかったことが一度でもある？
I don't know. I don't know your life. How would I know if
それ
you
は
acted that way?
ないけど。
今はそれで結構よ。さあ行きましょう。
I'm excited to meet who this
お父
person
様を待
is.
たせてるわよ。急いで屋敷に行きなさい。
じゃあごめんね二人とも。また後で。
George bowed to the two of them, and after bowing once more to Shannon, he dashed off to the mansion.
じゃあおばさんも行くわね。楽しい話を打ち切っちゃってごめんねジェシカちゃん、シャノンちゃん。
いえいえ、気にしないでください。じゃあシャノン、私たちは行こうぜ。
はい。
大丈夫よ。ジェシカちゃんだってきっとそのうち素敵な出会いがあるわよ。ジェシカちゃんにふさわしい素敵な方がね。
私と同程度ってことは成績の悪い男かな。なんだかうぜえぜ。
もちろんシャノンちゃんにもね、あなたにふさわしい素敵な男性がきっと現れるわよ。
ありがとうございます。
As Ava giggled and smiled, she approached Shannon's ear with a hand over her mouth, as though she was trying to tell her a secret. I have a feeling this is not going to be nice. This is not going to be nice.
使用人風情のあなたに
Oh
ぴっ
my
たり
god.
の相手が
Why are you being
き
mean
っ
to
と見つか
her?
るわよ。義務教育に行かせてもらった恩も忘れて。身の程を知りなさい。
そんなつもりは。私。
ジョージはお父様の血を引く孫の中では嫡男に当たるのよ。ひょっとしたら未来の後宮家を背負うことになるかもしれない人。その期待に応えるためにたくさんの勉強を重ねて素晴らしい大学に入り、素晴らしい成績を残しているわ。そんなジョージと無資格無教養な使用人風情が釣り合うと本気 で大思い。
So mean. Those malicious words all poured into Shannon's ear without spilling a drop. To Shannon, it was like cold water being poured in there. Aww,
私は
poor thing.
そんなつもりは。
All whispered to Shannon in secret, and with the same smile as before. Jessica, who could only see Ava's expression, didn't think it was anything other than Ava telling Shannon some embarrassing story about love. When their secret conversation ended, Ava patted Shannon's shoulders as though she was urging her on.
大丈夫よ。あなたにぴったりのお相手がきっと見つかるからね。じゃあね、ジェシカちゃん、また後でね。
はい、また後で。秀吉おじさんとの話、その時聞かせてくださいね。
いやよ。
Ava laughed loudly and headed back to the entrance hall. Behind Jessica, who was cheerfully waving her hand, Shannon reflected very, very deeply on those words of Ava's knowing her place. Time for me to take a serious look at how full of myself I've been acting. I forgot. I'm furniture. Furniture isn't human. So I am a being who must feel gratitude for even being treated like a human. I am not permitted to wish for anything more. People sometimes develop affection for furniture they're used to using. But that is emotion on the human side, and the furniture has no right to hope for such a thing. It's enough that furniture serves with simple honesty day after day. That feeling I got when talking to George Sama and Jessica Sama is the same as a forbidden drug to me. In other words, it may be an emotion I must never experience.
シャノン、先ほどからぼんやりが過ぎます。体調でも悪いのですか？
失礼いたしました。
Natsuhi's words were right on the mark. Even Shannon couldn't believe that she hadn't noticed Natsuhi until she had called. Normally it was essential that she focused on her cleaning at this time of day, but she spent all her time sighing and hardly making any
た
progress.
とえお客様がおられなくても、常に気を張っていなくてはなりません。そんな様では、後宮家に仕える使用人として情けありませんよ。
はい。以後注意します。
もうじき、当主様と主人がお帰りになられます。書斎の清掃は済んでいますか？階段の清掃は済んでいますか？
申し訳ございません。
ええ、知っています。ですから、ルノンにやらせておきました。
Oh, we get to meet more
あなたがもた
servants.
もたと廊下を清掃している時間で、彼女は書斎と階段の清掃を済ませてしまいましたよ。
それは、丁寧にお掃除をしていたから、時間がかかってしまって。
Shannon was simple and honest, so she would always carry out her tasks seriously and properly without any omissions. So she was always slow with her work. In contrast, Lunan cleverly avoided doing extra work whenever it was possible, so she completed her jobs with a result that looked almost the same to an outsider but in a much shorter time. In other words, she was a shrewd employee. Compared to that, it's probably fair to say that Shannon wasn't very shrewd at all, talking back to Natsuhi when Natsuhi was in a bad mood. Of course, there was nothing that Natsuhi couldn't stand more than a servant talking back. Her forehead creased and she spoke sternly, and yet her slow, admonishing style of speech was even more terrifying, and finally made Shannon realize that she had said the wrong thing.
ならば、存分に丁寧な清掃を心がけなさい。シャノン、あなたにこのまま大広間の清掃も命じます。当主様の大切な絵画が多数飾られ、後宮家への賓客をお招きすることもある。誇り一つ残さないよう、あなたが納得するまで丁寧に清掃なさい。もちろん今日中にです。それを終えて私に報告するまで、食事も休憩も許しません。わかりましたね？
はい。
結構。使用人はその言葉だけを口にするように。次の口答えにはより厳しい罰を与えますから、そのつもりでよく胸に刻んでおきなさい。
はい、ご指導をありがとうございます。
どういたしまして。
Behaving as though her headache was troubling her, Natsuhi headed off down the corridor. When she couldn't see her anymore, Shannon hung her head and sighed. This was what happened when she had her head in the clouds. Even though I'm bad at everything I do, I should be able to at least carry out the cleaning as well as an average person can, right? Because I can't even perform that very well. I'm crying so pathetically. What's even more shameful is that not only have I been unable to perform a single bit of cleaning as well, but just now, when Natsuhi was scolding me, I imagined that person appearing and rescuing me. If only George-sama were here. Would he casually step in and save me? Surely he'd show up cheerfully, intentionally acting like he didn't know what was going on. Nimbly change the subject and make me forget I'd ever been rebuked by Natsuhi. I kept envisioning him, suddenly appearing from the other side of the door, or the other end of the hallway. Sorry. I envisioned the kind of person that would be an appropriate partner for him in a marriage meeting. Yeah, let me see the marriage meeting. And I envisioned how unfitting I was for him. Ava clearly told me. It's been repeating over and over in my dreams.
姉さんは相変わらず不器用だね。奥様は今朝から虫の居所が悪い。黙ってうなずいていればいいものを余計なことを言うから。
カノン君。
Cannon was suddenly there. His footsteps were always quieter than a cat's, and he never left any trace of his presence. He probably could have stood there forever, and she still wouldn't have noticed him. The expression of Cannon's face was one of hatred. Oh, what? Maybe for Natsuhi, not for her. Oh, he made that expression for Shannon, who didn't know how to do it herself.
奥様も、そしてルノンも地獄へ落ちろ。あいつは奥様がどこをチェックするか知ってて、そこしか掃除しない。さっきの掃除もそうだった。見ていたから知ってる。本当の意味での掃除なんかしてないんだよ。丁寧に掃除する姉さんに寄生してるだけの最低なやつだ。
そんな汚い言葉を使ってはダメよ。汚い言葉はカノン君の綺麗な魂まで汚してしまう。ね。
He said, fine. Cannon turned away as though sulking. It was a reaction that hid his true feelings, which was very like Cannon, but I was a little happy. He was getting bad for my sake.
大広間の掃除は大変だよ。僕も手伝う。
ありがとう。でも、奥様に命じられたのは私だから大丈夫。カノン君にも自分のお仕事があるんでしょ。
汚らわしい仕事だよ。僕の魂なんてとっくに汚れてる。
Cannon then hung his head and bit his
手
lower
伝って
lip.
くれるという言葉だけで私は十分。カノン君も自分の仕事に戻らないとあなたまで罰を受けることになっちゃう。そしたら私は悲しい。
Shannon knew Cannon's character well. Sometimes he didn't think enough about himself. If I don't refuse forcefully, he'll help me even if it means neglecting his own job. Cannon was a little sad. Sorry, that his goodwill had been rejected, but he realized that what he was doing would only hurt her more in the end, and he gave a single small sigh.
わかったよ。姉さんも頑張って。
それに私にも責任はあるから。
姉さんには責任なんて何もないよ。
あるの。だから もう言って。
Cannonkin's face showed that he still hadn't completely accepted it, but without being any more obstinate, he disappeared. Even though Cannon-kun came to give me words of comfort when I was down, even so I was dejected again because it wasn't him. That in itself was a sin. It went far beyond any dreams that the likes of me could be permitted to see. I don't know my place. Shannon, who had neglected breakfast, already felt her concentration begin to waver. But if she didn't finish up cleaning the reception hall, she wouldn't receive Natsuhi's permission to eat. That cruel Natsuhi surely told the kitchen something to that effect. I have to respectfully receive Madam's punishment. That's right. My position in the world is furniture, and I've been intoxicated by a dream that's beyond me. I finished cleaning the hallway and went into the reception hall. Maybe my hunger made my nose more sensitive. I could sense a delicious aroma wafting from the kitchen. Even though it was far away, my empty stomach was encouraged even more. Until I finished up here, I wouldn't get any soup. I just had to resolve myself to doing it. Several portraits were hung in the reception hall. One of those portraits was thought to hold a special meaning amongst the servants. It was the portrait of the witch. That wasn't its true name, but everyone in the mansion called it that. The name of this woman with the elegant blonde hair is drawn in the subject of the portrait, with Beatrice. It was whispered, that she might be the former mistress of Kinzo, the family head, and also that she was the great witch who had given Kinzo the gold of the legend. The witch Beatrice, master of the night on Rokunjima. She was gracious to those who respected her, but she would surely curse those who made light of her. It was in Shannon's character not to neglect the rules and beliefs of such as those. So she thought of the portrait of her other masters as that person herself, and always treated it carefully, treasuring it. And it had become part of her daily routine to tell the witch, who had only existed inside the portrait, the secrets of her heart. She was furniture. Furniture doesn't complain, cannot complain. So she had no right to speak her mind about her difficult days. She had no right to open her mouth and say those words. So she at least spoke her mind inside her heart. She spoke her mind inside her heart, using her words she couldn't say aloud, and protested to the formless witch. Of course, the witch didn't answer, she didn't console, and she didn't laugh it off. Shannon could only interpret that silence as she liked, as though the witch was responding agreeably.
ベアトリーチェ様、みすぼらしい私の話を聞いてください。
As Shannon wiped the dust from the witch's portrait, she spoke that inside her heart.
私は確かにエヴァ様の言う通り、無能で無教養な家具です。人じゃない。だから恋をする資格などないかもしれません。でもだったらどうして恋を知ることのできる心などお与えになったのでしょうか。
At that point, Shannon held back her tears for a moment. The sound of the rain, which had started falling, along with the chill air in the reception hall, made her feel as though her shabbiness had increased another level.
本当の家具なら心なんかない。だから人を愛したりしなくて済むじゃないですか。だから苦しまない。私も同じ家具なのに。どうして心なんかあるんですか。こんな苦しくて辛い思いをするなら、こんな心なんて与えないでほしかった。
Oh my god.
なるほど。家具に心を与えたか。あれも時には愉快なことをする。
The witch that never answered and laughed. Was it my imagination? Was I hearing things? No, that's wrong. After all, the next words became a voice, and I could hear them, not with my heart, but with my
人
ears.
間は世界を構成する元素について紀元前の昔から探求を続けてきた。古代ギリシャ人たちは風、火、水、土の4つで世界の説明を試みたという。その後も数千年かけて人間たちはその4つにさまざまな元素を加え、5代、6代、7代、8代、12代とさまざまな解釈で世界を説明しようとしたが、唯一の真実である一なる元素を説明することはできなかった。しかし星の導きによって現れた一人の男が何かわかるか？
Magic? Shannon fearfully turned around. Ah! She's here! Right there she existed. Not as an illusion, but as a reality. The contrast made by lightning made it clear that this was no mere daydream.
それは愛よ。
The witch of the portrait elegantly held a gold pipe to her mouth and giggled. She laughed at the ignorance that caused humankind's thoughts to stray from the most simple answer.
その男は世界のすべてを愛で説明した。それこそが一なる元素。男は最小の数で世界の構成を説明しきったのだ。なんとも単純明快にして豪快爽快愉快痛快。やがてその男の生まれた年は西暦紀元と呼ばれるようになったがな。
Shannon lost any words to speak. She thought that when first meeting an unknown guest, her first words should be to ask that person's name. But without saying anything, Shannon knew this person's name, so she refrained. No, surely it would be the greatest disrespect for someone who lived or worked on this island to ask this woman her name. After all, she was the other master of this island besides Kinzo.
ベアトリーチェ様。
いかにもわらわがベアトリーチェである。1000年を経ても人がわらわを見て最初に浮かべる表情は変わらんな。
The witch giggled at how Shannon's reaction didn't betray her expectations. Shannon realized that she had met with a being that mustn't be met with, and took a step backwards. That's where the wall and the portrait were, so even as she gazed at the witch's portrait was touching her back.
お前の悩みは愛ゆえよ。それはすなわち世界の一なる元素。つまりこの世
Excuse
の
me,
す
sorry.
べてだ。それが満たされぬということは世界が満たされぬに同じこと。それは穴の開いた水筒に水を汲み続けるのに似ている。汲めども汲めども満たされぬ永遠の心の砂漠。人間の基礎にして全てにして現在。わかるか？知識の実を口にしたアダムとイブが知ったのは愛だったのだ。それを知ったがゆえに人は楽園を追われ人足り得たのだ。すなわちそれは愛を知り苦しむからこそ人であること。
I don't agree, because I think animals are just as capable of feeling love and suffering.
心優しき娘よ。そなたは誇っていい。それを知った今、そなたはもはや家具にあらず。そなたは今こそ我が名にかけてそれを認めようぞ。
Aw, she granted her wish.
凡庸の身には理
Oh wait,
解
no,
も
her
辛
wish
き
wasn't to
話
not be
か。
furniture. Her wish was to not have a heart.
まあよいわ。許すがいい。久しぶりに人間と話すのでな。饒舌が過ぎたことを謝ろう。
She's so cute. Without waiting for a reply from Shannon, Beatrice laughed pleasantly for a while.
詫びと言ってはなんだが、わらわの力で、そなたのその願望を叶えてやってもよいぞ。
The meaning of those words surprised Shannon even more than the witch's sudden appearance.
そなたを思い人と添い遂げさせてやってもよいと言っている。本来ならばそれに見合うだけの対価を要求するところだがわらわは機嫌が良い。それにそなたはわらわへの礼を欠かさず
Oh, she's
今日
so
までよく尽くした。
She's so cute.
それへの褒美としてやってもよい。
本当ですか？
Normally, Shannon would have been shocked and struck dumb by this seemingly impossible guess. However, almost as though she was already under this witch's spell, Shannon responded.
わらわの魔法にかかれば思い人と結ばれるように取り計らうなど造作もない。
Yes, of course. Shannon almost said that without thinking, but held back with her last bit of common sense. After all, this is a witch, a sinister being. The witch Beatrice is clearly trying to slip in through the cracks in my heart and take me prisoner. That sort of temptation which so many fairy tale picture books warned me about when I was young is right in front of me now.
イフもまた敬いの一つよ。心地よくはあるがこれでは拉致が開かぬな。わらわは確かにそなたらが意味嫌う魔女像から離れはせぬ。だがわらわは敬う者には好意を返す。それは人間も同じであろう。そのように身構えられて好意を返せる人間もまた
失礼しました。そんなつもりは。
Shannon eventually realized how rude she was acting towards this guest, and she finally digested the words that had been spoken to her a short while ago. You are no longer furniture. Now you are human. As she reflected upon those words, Shannon felt as though the witch understood all of her worries.
さっきのその褒美の話って何ですか？
お前がその心を虜にする男と結ばれるように取り計らってもいいと言ってわらわの肖像画を日々丹念に磨いてくれたことへの礼とでも思うがよい。わらわは気前がよい。だがな対価は求めぬが頼みがある。
Look, here it comes. Part of Shannon's heart sent her a warning. This is what all those scary picture books she'd read when she was little had warned
こ
her
の
about.
島のすぐ近くの海に岩が覗き
Oh, and that's
そこ
why
に
she
小さ
shattered
な
the
鳥居
mirror.
と祠が設けてあるのを知っているか？
Shannon immediately remembered it. When you reached Rokunjima by boat, there was a torii and a shrine on a reef that was too small to be called even an islet. I'm pretty sure Kumasawa-san told me its history, but I can't remember it well. A traveling shugenja, a kind of holy man, had built it and prayed there or something.
ええ、知っていますが、それが何か。
魔に通じぬ者に一から説明はせぬ。早い話がだな。あれには参っておるのだ。実はな、あの祠の中にある鏡が収められている。それをそなたに割ってほしいというのだ。
It was quite a suspicious request. Shannon didn't know the details, but anything stored inside a shrine would have to be something sacred. And she wants me to break it? Why would a witch ask a human for help instead of doing it herself? There was no need for Shannon to speak her thoughts aloud. Beatrice responded to Shannon's reasonable doubt before Shannon could give her
あの
answer.
鏡の魔力はわらわの魔力と相対する。 人の言葉でうまく説明できぬな。例えれば食器の違いとでも言おうか。
I wonder if the answer to the riddle on the plaque is just the mirror.
あの鏡はフォークで、わらわの力はスープなのだ。フォークでスープは飲めまい？あの鏡の押し付けさえなければ、わらわはスープを飲むのにぴったりのスプーンが用意できるというわけだ。それさえあればスープも飲めるし、岩ろうだって掘り抜けるぞ。目玉だってえぐり貫ける。だったか？
何の話かわかりません。私の無教養のせいだとしたら謝ります。
こういうことだ。あの忌々しい鏡をわらわのために割る手間をかけてくれたなら、その褒美としてそなたの願いを叶えてやるということだ。今日のわらわは本当に機嫌がいい。そなたが望むなら願い事を変えて金蔵に授けた黄金を丸ごとくれてやることにしてもよいぞ。
お断りします。
なんと。
When she heard Shannon's words, Beatrice realized for the first time that her expectations had been betrayed.
理由があれば聞かせよ。誤解があるなら解こうぞ。
理由なんてよくわかりません。でも今日までこの島は平和で何も起こりませんでした。なら鏡を割らなくても今日までと同じ平和がこれからも続いていくはずです。
なるほどなるほど。それはもっともだな。そなたの言う通りだ。あれを割らぬなら、割れぬ今日までと同じ日々が、わらわが絶対の保証をしようではないか。ベアトリーチェの名にかけて言う。割れぬ今日までと同じ日々が明日も明後日も続こうぞ。それは永久に、永遠に。
Shannon felt overwhelmed by an eerie illusion. The mirror probably existed for the purpose of restraining the witch. So, if Shannon broke it, the person who stood to gain was supposedly the witch herself, and yet Shannon felt somehow that she had to do it for her own sake. It felt like some premise had been switched around.
わらわはあくまでも褒美としてそなたに思いを成就する機会を与えたに過ぎぬ。割ろうが割るまいがそなたの自由だ。割ればわらわはそなたの願いを叶える。割らねば今日までの明日が永遠に続く。そなたの願いは永遠に叶うことはない。わかるか？何を言っているか。
The witch was speaking. She was pressing Shannon, saying she must break the mirror if she ever wanted to be united with George. It was a declaration that Shannon's feelings would never be brought to fruition unless she broke it.
やめてください。そんなの聞きたくない。
そなたを苦しめたかったわけではないのだがな。まあいい。愛に苦しさを感じるも人間の醍醐味よ。その感情を存分に楽しむがよい。だが我が力を借りたいと願ったならいつでもあの鏡を割るがよい。そして我が名を叫び呼び覚ますがよい。わらわは必ず約束を守るだろう。これならば文句はあるまい？
Hi Elise, how are
そ
you?
なたに今すぐの
Hope you're
決断を
doing
迫
well.
るわけではない。気楽であろう。
Was it really such an easy thing to do? No, it certainly wasn't. To Shannon, who was burning with infatuation and worried by love, Being tempted constantly and eternally with a way out was truly a cruel
こ
trial.
の約束に期限は設けぬが、願いを叶える魔法には期限がある。その期限はわらわが決めるのではない。そなたの思い人が自ら決める。
Sleepy? Yeah, it's pretty early right now. I don't know what time it is for you though.
わかりません。
そなたの思い人が愛のちぎりを結ぶべき相手を決めた時がその期限となる。わらわは魔女だが鬼ではない。互いを愛し合う二人を引き裂く魔法は持ち合わせていないのでな。
Oh, you're on the East Coast? Yeah, pretty early then.
そなたの思い人は近いうちに見合いに臨むそうだ
I
な。
got West
そな
Coast
たは世
time.
界で一番その男のことを思っているかもしれん。だが世界で一番ふさわしいとは限らんぞ。わらわは見合いの相手を知っている。その娘は世界で一番後ろ宮ジョージにふさわしい。良い学校を出て良い成績を残し落ち着きがあって
I'm West Coast
資料深い。
time. Yes, me. So it's like, it's 5:40 right now. Oh yeah, I mean, I was born and raised here, so I like it, personally. East Coast is too cold.
お前より美しく、お前より聡明で、お前よりふさわしい。お前のような無知無能無教養
Oh,
の
now
娘が
Beatrice is just trying to
どうしてふ
manipulate
さわし
her.
かろうか。お前が一番知っている。お前が一番ふさわしくない。お前と後ろ宮ジョージが結ばれるなど想像するだけでも罪深い。愚かしいことよ。愚かしい愚かしい身の程知れい。義務教育に行かせてもらった恩も忘れ身の程を知りなさい。ジョージはお父様の血を引く孫の中では嫡男に当たるのよ。
They're just repeating Natsuhi
ひょ
right
っと
now.
したら未来の後ろ
Or
宮
not
家を
Natsuhi,
背負う
Ava, I
こと
mean.
になるかもしれない人。その期待に応えるためにたくさんの勉強を重ねて素晴らしい大学に入り素晴らしい成績を残しているわ。そんなジョージと無能無資格無教養な使用人風情が釣り合うと
This is so
本気
mean.
でお思い。
やめろ。シャノンをいじめるな。貴様は誰だ。
At that time, Shannon held her head. Trying to protect her heart from the blade of Beatrice's words, Shannon ran in front of her. Cannon didn't care who this woman was. If this was an enemy tormenting Shannon, who he loved and respected as a sister, nothing else mattered.
カノン君、下がって。この方は。
It seemed Cannon also realized that the being standing before him was the witch of the portrait, and also that she was something to be feared.
シャノンに褒美を取らせたかっただけだが、わらわの言葉が過ぎ、いじめてしまったようだな。それは謝ろう。だが、先ほどの約束は、そなたへの褒美として残してゆく。わらわの力が必要ならば、いつでも呼び出すといい。その方法はすでに教えた。では、これにて今宵は退散しよう。敵意の眼差しは心地よくあるが、美容にはちと悪いのでな。
消えろ。お前が何者か知らないが、お前はシャノンを脅かしている。二度と現れるな。
Cannon's words seemed to deeply annoy the witch.
言葉を選ばぬか下船め。わらわは敬う者に寛大だが、敬わぬ者には残酷であるぞ。
While she still smiled, the witch's face began to twist itself. Then an oppressive feeling that couldn't be noticed with any other 5 senses gradually filled the room. Even though they couldn't understand it, they immediately realized it was something terrifying. When you swim in an ocean and something large passes by in the water beneath you, you want to escape to land before you learn what it is. That's exactly what this was like.
おやめください、ベアトリーチェ様。カノン君はまだ子供なんです。言葉遣いについては謝ります。
Cannon placed his body between the witch and Shannon. There was a tense sweat on his forehead. At that time, the witch certainly held Cannon's fate in the palm of her hand. She didn't even need to lift a finger. She held a grasp on his fate so tight that a single twist of her smile could easily crush it. Cannon understood that as well, so he started sweating. His knees felt weak. However, Beatrice abruptly released that feeling of tension and laughed.
よかろう。そなたが求めるなら特別に許そう。カノンとやら彼女に免じて今宵は許して使わす。感謝するがよいぞ。さて今宵はこれで退散する。別れの挨拶に一つ土産を残そう。二人とも左手の手のひらをこちらへかざせ。
When Beatrice grinned broadly and snapped her fingers, their left hands stretched out in front of them against their wail and their palms opened. It was a strange sensation, as though only their left hands now belonged to someone else. It felt like only their left hands had become puppets, which were being pulled by strings hanging down from the ceiling.
これは何の真似だって。
Ganon resisted, but he couldn't retract his hand of his own free will.
騒ぐな。すぐに済む。
When Beatrice held her pipe aloft, a gold-colored, sparkling dust came out of the smoke and hovered in the air. That sparkle eventually became several gold butterflies. The beautiful butterflies danced freely through the reception hall, forming a fantastical and beautiful world. And 2 of those butterflies alighted on the palms of Shannon and Cannon's hands. There was a sharp pain as though they had been burned. When the 2 of them tried to examine their palms, that hold on their bodies, which had been there a second ago, had gone without a trace. There was now a tiny burn mark in the palm of her hand, and it was shaped like a butterfly.
これは何の真似だ。
Apparently, Cannon had the same mark on his hand. He stared at the witch hatefully.
単なる挨拶よ。他意はない。ただのあざに過ぎぬから、ほんの数日で言えよう。手当ても必要ない。それは、わらわが確かに今日ここにあり、そなたと約束を交わしたことを明日に忘れさせぬための印だ。わらわとの出会いは刺激が強い。翌朝にわらわとの出会いを夢か幻と思い込み、ゆっくり考えるがいいぞ、シャン。そしてゆっくりと休む。明日の朝日に我が印を見て改めて考えてみるがいいだろう。わらわは何も強要せん。そなたが自らの意志で自由に未来を決めるがいい。もっとも欲する者の対価がその程度で済むとはな。貴殿をテーマに戯曲を書き上げた偉人たちが悔しがるぞ。それでは縁があったらまた会おう。久しぶりの会話は実に楽しかったぞ。さらばだ、家具ども。
Beatrice's body crumbled like smoke and blew away. It was golden smoke. No, a cloud of golden butterflies. They scattered in all directions inside the reception hall, leaving a gold splash before disappearing into thin air. After that, only the cold silence was left. It was so silent, it made both of them think that they might have been daydreaming until just a moment ago, which is why the witch had left those marks. She had done so to make it impossible for them to think of this as a daydream. As Shannon and Cannon remembered the butterfly bruises on their hands and the pain they'd felt when they'd been made, they kept standing still, stunned, and from that moment on, Shannon was tormented by days of suffering and conflict. Oh? Just same book.
別部屋ってなんだよ。じゃあわざわざシャノンとジョージ兄さんは別の部屋に泊まったのかよ。
そんなにもおかしかったでしょうか。
Jessica's cheeks had been stuffed with chocolate-coated chinsoku biscuit that Jessica had brought as a present from Okinawa. That's Shannon. I think I said Shannon. And it all came flying at Shannon when Jessica cried out.
シャノンさ、何のために沖縄まで旅行に行ったんだよ。それもジョージ兄さんと二人っきりで。
それはとても大きな水族館が沖縄にあるから、私、お魚とか好きですし。
いや、だからさ、健全な男女がお泊まりありで旅行に行ったわけだろ。それでチューもなければギューもないのかよ。ましてや、部屋は男女で別部屋ってなんだよ。
チューについてはノーコメントです。でもギューはありましたよ。ジョージさんの胸温かかったです。
そういうことじゃねえぜ。なあもう、なんだってこんなカップルがいるんだよ。なあもう、じれってえぜ。
From Shannon's point of view, it was an incredibly happy trip for various reasons, but it looked like Jessica found their pace to be pretty irritating. For a while, Jessica chewed her present, complaining about romance and pretending to faint in agony on her bed. Shannon and George had chosen to go to Okinawa because there was a huge aquarium there. They did this because an aquarium had given them the opportunity to start going out. Since their relationship had started in an aquarium, having their first overnight trip also to be an aquarium must have held some commemorative value.
そんな記念の節目の初のお泊まり旅行ならいろいろと進展するもんがあるはずだぜ。それが男女別部屋、カップルでシングルを2部屋。ああもう本当にどうかしてるぜ。
それはお互い独身の男女ですし、ジョージさんがそこをしっかりするのが男女のマナーだとおっしゃって。
だからそれを踏み越えるためのお泊まり旅行じゃねえのかよ。もはやキューとかギューとかのレベルじゃねえぜ。
お嬢様がどういう意味でおっしゃってるのかわかりませんが、ジョージ様は最後まで本当に紳士でいてくださいました。それは私もそういうことがあるかなというか。でも私たちお付き合いはしてますけど、別に結婚してるわけじゃないし、お嬢様が期待されているようなことはちゃんと神様の前で誓いを立ててからするべきです。するべきです。
Shannon's face got bright red. She made a big circle with both hands, restlessly intertwining, separating, and making heart marks with it. Apparently, the dramatic progress Jessica had looked forward to hadn't happened, but it seemed to have been very important experience for Shannon in her own way. In the end, whether Jessica was jealous of Shannon or made fun of her, it didn't change the fact that Shannon had a huge lead on her.
私も彼氏欲しい。シャノンに先を越されたのが悔しい。彼氏作るときは一緒だぜって約束したのに抜け駆けされた。
お嬢様は素敵な方ですから、私なんかよりきっと素敵な方がすぐに現れます。
そういう慰めはいらねえぜ。シャノンの裏切り者、出ていけ。
I forgot she had asthma. Jessica threw several cushions at her, but midway she had an asthma attack and started to choke pretty badly. Shannon hurriedly ran over to a nearby side table and started searching around on top of it. A cute basket was placed there, and inside of it was Jessica's bronchodilator. Shannon picked it up and handed it over to Jessica. Jessica's asthma attacks always came suddenly. Because of that, she always needed to carry this medicine around. She breathed in the medicine and, after a while, managed to overcome her choking as her asthma finally settled down. Shannon thought this is a good chance to leave and tried to exit the room after bowing courteously. As she did, one more small cushion came flying and hit Shannon on the head. She noticed that Jessica was on the verge of crying, half her face buried in her last favorite cushion. That face was red and meek.
お嬢様？
シャノンさ、正直に言って、私、髪型とか、変かな。
まさか。お嬢様の髪はとてもお美しいと思います。
じゃあ、目とか変かな？鼻とか変じゃないかな？やっぱり、喋り方がダメなのかな？だから彼氏できないのかな？
そんなはずはありませんよ。
Just haven't met the right
お嬢
person
様
yet.
はそのままで十分に素敵です。そして、その魅力はこれからもっともっと増していくと思いますよ。
でも、私だけ彼氏できない。サクもヒナも彼氏できたのに、私にだけできないよ。やっぱり、私には魅力ないからかな。みんなね、文化祭に彼氏連れてくるんだって。私もその日までにはきっと彼氏いるって思って大見え切って、彼氏だってできやしない。私だけ
No. Before she realized it, Jessica was shedding huge tears. Jessica didn't really feel like crying, and of course she felt like supporting Shannon's progress and love as a friend. However, as she had cheered Shannon on, her true feelings had suddenly got mixed in, and she couldn't help but shed tears. Shannon understood Jessica's innocent and easily injured heart. The rough style of speech Jessica usually used was all just an attempt to protect that fragile heart. As a daughter and successor to the Uchiromiya family, and as a girl isolated on Rokenjima, the only person she could express her true feelings to was Shannon. Shannon understood that, so she strongly regretted acting smug, even if it was only a little.
ごめん、涙出ちゃうなんて私変だぜ。ごめん。
お嬢様は素敵な方です。そんなお嬢様に素敵な男性が現れないわけがありません。
シャノン、もう時間だろ？早く行かないとまたゲンジさんや母さんに怒られるぜ。私は全然平気だから早く行きなよ。悪いな、泣いちゃったりなんかしてさ。バカみてえだぜ、私。
Jessica faced away, acting as though she didn't really want to trouble Shannon, waving her hand as though chasing Shannon away. Shannon took that as a sign Jessica didn't want to be bothered anymore, bowed her head, and left the room. When Shannon's footsteps disappeared into the distance, Jessica lay down on her bed, still hugging a cushion. Her expression was still a little meek, with tears in her eyes, but for the first time in a long time, she had a very, very quiet and honest conversation with her heart.
私も恋がしたい。
As Shannon happily watered the flower beds in the garden, she sensed someone's presence. She turned around thinking that if one of the family had come to visit, she must greet them, but what she saw was that witch.
ベアトリーチェ様。
久しぶりよの。どうだ？その後、そなたの思い人との仲は順調か？
As Beatrice sat on the rose arch, she happily blew on her pipe. Sitting in a place like that would crush the roses, and it might have been dangerous if the arch fell over, but this was a witch after all. Showing concern for her safety was probably a waste of time.
おかげさまで順調です。
当然よ。わらわの魔法はてきめんである。そなたにはまるで、二人が出会うのはあらかじめ決められた運命であったかのように感じているかもしれぬ。だがそれは間違いよ。夢運命だなどと思うでないぞ。
それは分かってます。
The witch was calling attention to something. Two things, actually. First, that Shannon's relationship with George was a fate that had been absolutely impossible under normal circumstances. Second, that the power of the witch was great enough to overturn that fact. Shannon had just gotten wrapped up in those sweet days and had started believing the illusion that all fate resolved around her. But she remembered the witch's words. Originally, her relationship with George had been impossible. No, it might be impossible in the future as well.
すまぬ。医者と同じよ。病に悩めばすがるくせに、治れば感謝も忘れる。魔女が感謝された試しはないのでな。つい卑屈になってしまった。許すがいい。
感謝の気持ちを忘れたことはありません。ベアトリーチェ様のお力で幸せな思いができていること。そしてそのお力がなければ私とジョージ様が寄り添う運命がなかったこと、決して忘れたことはありません。
すまぬ。いじめに来たわけではないのにな。口が悪いのはわらわが性分。許されよ。
Being rude is just part of my
それより
personality.
聞いたぞ。二人きりで旅行に行ったとな。さぞや楽しかったであろう。
はい。
Oh, she wants to gossip
と
with
ても
her.
楽しかったです。
I think I'm gonna end up doing a little bit more of Umineko and then maybe start up some Super Mario Sunshine. I'm feeling like playing that right now. And then maybe go to Umineko later. I don't know. I'll see how I feel. Shannon's face suddenly lit up. The witch laughed lightly, as though amused by the speed of that transformation.
もはやそなたの思い人
Also,
は
emotes are
一方的に思う
coming
だけの存在
soon.
ではない。
Emotes and subscriber badges are coming soon. They're just being worked on. So as soon as they're ready, I will have them. So that is really exciting. I'm really looking forward to that.
互いに思い思われる恋人同士よ。愛に満たされた二人にとって世界はただそれだけで成立する。素晴らしき理想の世界かな。魔女も焼こうというもの。
Beatrice laughed pleasantly. That smile made her look as though she blessed the lovers' rendezvous from the bottom of her heart without trace of malice. After that day, Beatrice had shown herself before Shannon every once in a while. Even now, Shannon thought of her as an unsettling being. However, she was also indebted to this person for the magic that led to her current relationship with George. So she tried with all her might not to act surprised or scared.
そうだった。ベアトリーチェ様、旅行のお土産にお菓子を買ってきたんです。よかったらベアトリーチェ様もいかがでしょうか。
ほう。魔女に土産とな。
Aww. It seemed that even a witch who boasted of living for 1,000 years hadn't imagined that she'd received a souvenir from a sweet lover's trip. When she saw that surprised expression, Shannon thought of this witch as a friend for the first time.
ほほう。ラードと小麦粉で作った東洋クッキーか。それを西洋風にチョコで包むとは、まさに和洋折衷、菓子のシルクロードよの。
Oh, that's such a cute expression.
何がおかしい？
Aww.
失礼いたしました。
This witch, who surely held a terrifying power, was chomping down on sweets one after another, making a sound like a squirrel shuffling walnuts into its mouth. Aww. After a while, Shannon couldn't conceal her laughter.
しそうになったぞ。そなたには今度、ネロのドルチェビータでも振る舞おうぞ。バラは永遠の愛の象徴。今のそなたには、バラのドルチェこそがふさわしかろう。
Oh, she's so cute. Beatrice is such a sweetie sometimes. Sometimes. The witch was in a great mood, fully enjoying modern candy.
これ、本当にありがとうございました。もう私には十分だと思いますので、お返しします。
The thing Shannon softly set on the table was a gold-colored butterfly brooch.
返さずともよい。それに、持ち続けていれば、二人の仲はこれからも永劫に盤石であろうが。
出会いのきっかけは、確かに魔法の力で与えてもらったかもしれません。
愛もバラと同じか。過ぎた世日は根を腐らせる。苦労せねば育めぬ花もあろう。ならば、好きにするがよい。身につけず、宝石箱の中にしまうもよかろう。それは、そなたに送ったわらわの好意だ。それを返されては、わらわも愉快ではない。
申し訳ございません。そういう意味で言ったわけじゃ。
気を害してなどおらぬ。そのブローチは、すでにそなたのもの。わらわとの友情の証に、せいぜい大事にしてくれれば、少しは気もな持ち続け、そのご利益を得るもよし、宝石箱にしまい込むもよし、望むなら、恋路に悩む別のものに譲ろうと。
Oh, give it to Jessica.
ただ、大事にしてくれればよい。さすがに粗末にされては、心が痛むでな。
According to Beatrice, she had appeared several times in the past to response. Okay, sorry. She had appeared several times in the past in response to a person's summons to give them some tool imbued with magical power. However, when most people used that power to resolve their worries, they quickly grew unsettled by it, forgot their former gratitude, and threw away the tools they had been given with disgust.
だから、わらわの行為に素直に感謝された試しは多くない。
Oh, I would thank you,
いや、
Beatrice.
初めてか。
The witch laughed heartily, but it looked like a sad laugh in Shannon's eyes. She herself had been like that in the past. No, maybe she was still like that now. Beatrice was definitely a witch, with a strange and terrifying power. Most people probably wouldn't want to stick around her if they could help it. I hope in the end they can make her human again so she can live with all of them. Or something where she can like have friends and feel better. Surely even those who had relied on that strange power sometimes felt fear rather than gratitude as a result. It must have deeply hurt the witch to have that happen over and over. Since the time she started thinking that way, Shannon had tried to stop being frightened of Beatrice. This was surely something that had tormented the witch for over 1,000 years. Aww. Maybe she really liked those sweets. Beatrice, who normally spoke abusively, praised the black tea that Shannon served and looked to be in remarkably high spirits. After doing that for a while, the witch and the servant grew animated in their discussion of the trip with George. Aw, they're having a girl chat. That is so cute. The few things Shannon actually knew about Beatrice were surprisingly few. First off, she was a ghost-like being who appeared in unexpected places at unexpected times, and it seemed that not everyone could perceive that she was there. Apparently, everyone has something called a wavelength, and the ability to perceive witches varies greatly among different people. Only Shannon and Cannon could interact with her enough to exchange words like this. There were a few people who could sense her presence, but most people couldn't even feel that much. From what Beatrice said, Kraus and his wife in particular had zero magical talent. And no matter how much she followed them around, they would never notice her. Once earlier, when Shannon messed up and Natsuhi got mad at her, Beatrice had started playing around, hitting Natsuhi on the head with her pipe. Aww, that's so funny. I see, Natsuhi really doesn't notice a thing, but Shannon, watching that, had burst out laughing without thinking and had gotten scolded even more.
なら、親方様だったらどうでしょうか。魔法の研究とかをなさっているそうですし、きっとベアトリーチェ様のお姿にも気づいてくださると思います。
I wonder how she feels about Kinzo.
金蔵も同じよ。あれにも気の毒なくらいに魔法の才能がない。血だな。同情に値するほど才能がない。
As soon as they started talking about Kinzo, it felt like the atmosphere around Beatrice changed. She had spoken about Kraus and the rest's lack of magical talent as though she looked down on them, but she spoke of Kinzo in a different way. Anyone connected to the Uchihiromiya family would know about Kinzo's legend of the gold. According to that, Kinzo was given the gold after summoning the witch Beatrice. In other words, she must have had some kind of relationship with Kinzo.
だからあれは才能のひとかけらもないくせに至ったのだ。狂ったように独学を重ね、魔術師の域にまで達した。
それはとてもすごいことなんですね。
うん。
The witch, who usually looked down on people, was uncharacteristically offering her praise. While she lambasted him by saying he had no talent, she praised his efforts.
そして親方様は魔法の力でベアトリーチェ様を呼び出した。
うん。
That is such a cute face.
まあ、召喚に応えたのは気まぐれだ。魔法を否定して久しいこのご時世に、才能のかけらもない者が必死にやっているのでな。少しからかってやろうと思ったのが、わらわの運の尽きよ。
Wonder if Kinzo tricked her or something. Her choice of words highlighted how much of a disaster this had been for her. Shannon hesitated over whether it would be safe to continue this discussion, but Beatrice continued on her own, ignoring Shannon.
一応、書式もルールも揃っていた。いくつかの作法が混在していたが、まあその熱意に免じ、寛大に契約に応じてやったのだ。そしてわらわは、山なす黄金を与えてやった。
そして親方様はその黄金を使って事業を成功させ、今日の財を成すのですね。
うん。魔法の才能はからっきしだが、詳細と莫細はあったようだな。いや、理不尽なる賭けに全て落とす勇気と 狂気ゆえにか。狂気は時に魔力に通ずる。なるほど。その点から見れば、金蔵に魔法の才能が全くなかったとは言い切れんか。
That bitch was crazy. Shannon felt like she was daydreaming. While everyone in the Uchiromiya family knew the story of how Kinzo idolized black magic, summoned a witch, and received the gold, in actuality, it was all rambling that no one believed in, and now Shannon was having the story confirmed by the witch herself. She felt a little flustered by this incredible secret that only she knew.
そして、莫大な財産を得た金蔵は、人の世で手に入れることのできるすべての夢を叶えきった。そして、最後に世界の真理を求めたのだ。
世界の真理？
世界を構成する人の世で得られるすべてを満たした金蔵は、人が求める最後の欲望としてそれを欲したのだ。
A single element. She seemed to remember the witch using that word before. When Beatrice saw Shannon trying to remember what that was, she laughed bitterly, waving her hand, saying there was no need to worry.
わらわも金蔵を少し見くびっていた。まさかあれほどの力を見せるとは思わなかったのでな。おかげでこのざまだ。茶飲み友達もなく、この島にもう何十年も縫い止められている。誰に話しかけようとも声は届かず、どこへ行くこともできない。なんとも退屈な数十年だったことよ。
Why did Kinzo do that? As she laughed in self-derision, she tapped her teacup with her finger and made the light sound of pottery. Shannon didn't know whether the word self-derision was really an accurate expression to describe the look on the witch's face. Shannon didn't understand everything, but she could more or less figure out the situation. And it was probably a topic that she couldn't press the witch on easily, not unless the witch had started talking about it herself. To sum up everything she had said up until now, Beatrice, who had been summoned by Kinzo's magic, could not leave this island for some reason, and she had lost her power and her form, living her days in boredom. During that time, her words had reached Shannon, who never forgot to show her sincere respect for the witch. And Shannon helped the witch regain her power, if only a little bit. As a result, it was now possible for the witch to drink tea with Shannon like this. Oh, well, that's good.
ベアトリーチェ様が私に割るように言ったあの鏡は一体何なのですか？
ああ、その話か。この辺りの島で大昔いろいろとあったらしくてな。そのせいで良くないものがたまり、悪い歪みを引き寄せていたのだ。それを旅の東洋魔術師か何かが鎮魂の社を建立して封じ込めたらしい。それ自体はわらわとはどうでもいいことなのだが、困ったことに魔力の基礎が違っててな。わらわの魔力にも強い干渉を及ぼしておって、非常に迷惑していたのだ。
I bet she also wanted to let the souls
そうだっ
out.
たんですか。私はてっきりベアトリーチェ様を封じていたものだとばかり。
わらわを対象にしたものではない。だが、神格のある鏡だったからな。結果として、わらわの
I
力を封
wonder
じ込
what
めて
it
いた
let
わ
out
けだ。
then, and I wonder if what it let out is what Beatrice was trying to protect them from, and why she needed them to find the secret so that she could get her power back to protect them. They're on the beach now? Hi, Waj. I hope you're doing well. Okay, Waj, I don't even know how much you missed. But they're on an island, so the beach is kind of everywhere. That's where the place is on an island. Right now we're talking to the witch. That's who Beatrice is, and we love her. Well, I do. She's such a queen. And so we learned that she's been trapped here, and she can't interact with most people, so she's been really lonely, which is really sad. And apparently, so earlier Shannon made this deal with the witch. The witch was like, hey, if you go to this shrine and break this mirror... Oh, I love you too! I missed you too. Yeah, you miss a lot. Oh, you didn't say you missed me, my bad. Well, I missed you, but... It's Beatrice! She's fucking real, dude. And, so Beatrice is like, okay, go break this mirror for me in the shrine, and I'll grant you your wish of wanting to be with George, you know. This is George, because him and her have a thing. Because she's a servant, and he's the head, so she couldn't, like, be with him, and so she's like, okay, I'll go do that. And we didn't know what the mirror was for, and we're learning now that the mirror was just something sealing something away, but we don't know what. But it interfered with her, which is why she wanted out of the way. Yeah, so that's what we know right now. So far in the story, in chapter 2, all we've learned is that Shannon and George like each other, and they're dating. Oh, wait, sorry, not them. They're dating now. And also Jessica is sad about it. Not for them, like she's happy for them, but she's sad because she wants to fall in love too. So that's all we know right now.
料理に例えるならこうか。
So that's where we're at.
わらわの注文した西洋料理が厨房でまさに料理されているとする。ところがいざ配膳しようとしたら、客席は日本風で懐石料理が並べられている場だった。だから厨房は場違いな皿を出せず、わらわのところへはいつまで経っても西洋料理が届かないといった感じよ。だからそなたに日本風の客席を打ち壊し、そのおかげでようやくわらわの注文した料理が届き、力が戻ったというところか。
That is an interesting
もっとも
comparison.
ようやく食前酒が届いたというところよ。
The aperitif?
メ
Is
イ
that
ンディッシュに
appetizer?
はまだまだ遠い。今のわらわなど靴屋の妖精にも劣る希薄な存在でな。
Oh, she's so cute.
何がおかしい？
Oh, she's so cute. I love Beatrice so much. Okay, also, Waj, I forgot to tell you, there was like this tea party they had. It was basically an after party where all the ghosts were like, what the fuck happened? And Beatrice was literally right in front of Battler, and he was still like, yeah, I don't believe in her. I don't think you're real. It's not you. I'm like, dude, what?
魔女様の例えがあまりに面白かったもので。
But it was so funny because then she was like, I can't wait to make you submit to me one day and kiss my feet. And I was like, oh my god, you're such a queen.
まさか魔法の
That's why I
話
brought
が
that up, I
お
forgot.
料理の話に例えられるとは思いませんでした。
I know, he's such a fucking himbo.
我ながらうまい表現だったつもりだが、よもや笑われるとは思わなかったぞ。少し心外だ。
Aw, she's so cute! A slightly sulky expression rose to the witch's face. It wasn't a strange expression at all to be appearing on the face of some friends as they enjoyed their tea. Oh, also, in a bit, I don't know, I'm gonna be playing Umineko for a little bit longer. I don't know how much longer, but after that I'm gonna be playing Super Mario Sunshine, so if you're around, that's exciting to be coming up, so. I don't know if you've ever played that Waj, but...
こう見えても、昔は残酷極まりないことで知られたわらわだったが。
Let's fucking go!
丸くなったものよ。人間とこうして、たわいない話で茶を交わせるようになるのだから。
She was probably talking to herself. As Beatrice gazed at the seabirds tracing the horizon, she put her tea to her lips
雲
again.
が出てきたな。海も精彩をかけば、灰色の
Oh,
水
you
たまりに
haven't?
過ぎぬ。
Well, it's... Waj, it's such a fun game. It is just so many memories. Oh my god, my childhood. I love nostalgia games so much too.
そうでしょうか。
You're making me want to... Oh, this is just so exciting. You're making me want to bust out, like, Soul Calibur and shit, too. Like, even though I suck at Soul Calibur, it's still
海
fun.
は美しくて
Because it's... Everything
真っ青だと思い
nostalgic can
ま
be
す。
fun. Can be. Or it can be not so fun. Maybe the witch noticed the deep meaning behind Shannon's words. She laughed lightly and set down her empty teacup.
もはやそなたの両目に埋められているのは黒いどうだ家具から人間に生まれ変わった気持ちは理解できておるか
What do you mean I sucked? Did I pass all the levels? Yeah, bitch. What you talking about sucking? Like, what the fuck are you talking about sucking over here? I like see you. What you talking about? What? What's that about? Just kidding. Dude, some of those bosses though, that ghost boss gave me AIDS, dude. Like, I literally like got cancer on the spot and died. Like literally right there when I was fighting that ghost boss. Ugh. Since the start of her relationship with George, Shannon's face had grown brighter more often. Aww. Her smile had made everything go smoothly and had even changed her fortune. Shannon made less mistakes in her work than she had before, and the family members' opinions of her were slowly starting to change. Just the other day, she had been surprised when Krause, who rarely exchanged words with her, suddenly started talking to her.
最近いい笑顔をすることが多くなったじゃないか。
Fucking business asshole.
何か良いことでもあったのかね。
いえ、でも楽しい毎日です。
Absolutely nothing's good has happened to me. Yes.
良いことじゃないか。
Wonderful.
同じコーヒーなら笑顔で継がれた方がうまいに決まっている。その笑顔でもう一杯頼めんか。
Ew, I don't like how you say that. I don't like how you say that. Oh, hello, Josh. How you doing? Why are you asking me to smile for you? I'd rather kick you in the nuts. I think I'll do that instead. Shannon, don't. Ew. Shannon, no! Bad! Don't be happy about that. That had become a chance for Shannon to gain confidence in herself. Of course, it didn't go beyond her own heart, and it wasn't so big a change that anyone would notice. But she had begun to change bit by bit. Shannon understood it clearly. Knowing love wasn't the same as gaining a soul. Some commissions. I'm doing good. We're just chilling. Playing some Umineko. Gonna play some Mario Sunshine later. You know, the vibes. Drinking some apple juice. I love apple juice so much. There was absolutely nothing mistaken in Beatrice's words. By knowing love, Shannon had learned what it meant to be human. Oh, what?
珍しい茶化をしそうになったな。有意義な時間であった。
Dude,
そろそろ仕事に戻らねばならぬ時間であろう。茶会はこれまでにしよう。そなたとわらわが茶を飲むことを好かん者もおるようでな。
Is Cannon there glaring? The witch gripped a teaspoon and flipped it with her fingers, sending it up in the air. After that, it was launched by the fingers of some invisible person and flew straight into a nearby bush. The bush shook violently and Cannon came out. Yeah, I knew that. Pears versus apples? I think to eat, I'd always grab a pear over an apple, but I don't dislike apples. I like apples too, but definitely pears to eat. I wonder what pear juice would taste like. I wonder why pear juice isn't a thing. Maybe it's not good. I haven't had a good pear in a while. It seemed he had been there for some time watching their tea party. I think I'm like allergic to citrus, so I gotta be careful. Although I know pear isn't citrus, but you know, fruit. I feel like pear juice should be a thing, because you know, orange juice, grape juice, they got everything. I'll have to look for it. If he hadn't caught it in an instant, it might have hit him hard in the forehead and caused him to start oozing blood. Pomegranate juice? My mom loved pomegranate juice. But my mom loved like everything fruit. there was this like point in her life, I don't know what it was, she just like flipped and she just started loving all this healthy food, and like she would just eat vegetables raw and was just like happy, and I was like, you're insane. Eat every single fruit she saw, and I'd be like, that's crazy. Cause I'm so
い
picky.
つからそこにいたの？
So in comparison, it's just like,
声
what?
をかけてくれれ
I'm
ば
like, what are you
カノン
eating?
君の紅茶も入れたのに。
女同士の
She
語
probably
ら
like
いを
loved
邪
durians
魔
and
したく
stuff
なか
too.
ったのであろう。
I love durians only, well, I've never tasted durian, but I love them only because they're in Super Mario Sunshine, which we're going to be playing later, and that's where I first learned of that fruit, and I loved them because you can kick them around. She is a based mom, I know. Yeah, she ate ever smell? No, I've never. I know they're notorious for not smelling good, but I don't know. I've also seen people be like super mean about it, and I'm like, you guys need to chill. People like those things. Cannon kept silent, but there seemed to be a slightly hostile look in his eyes. On the outside, he acted with respect, but unlike Shannon, Cannon did not trust the witch. When Beatrice hit the table with her pipe, the tea set turned into gold butterflies which flew upwards all at once. They scattered into every direction, and the cleanup was already done.
楽しかったぞ、シャノン。
I be segueing, you know me.
また縁があれば会おうぞ。まだまだ魔力が足りぬでな。姿を現すのも疲れる。
I want to get to like the next
そんなに
event
疲
thingy
れ
in
るな。
Umineko first.
二度と現れるな。
After this, and see what else is going on. Cannon had said it in a small voice, but the witch seemed to have heard it perfectly. She giggled, but did not reply.
シャノン、次の茶会ではジョージとの話をまた聞かせておくれ。人の恋路より甘い茶花は他にない。
Oh.
それではさらばだ。
Whoop! Beatrice's body also became gold butterflies, which scattered in all directions and disappeared. It was a fantastical and beautiful scene, like a blizzard of gold leaf. For a while, Shannon quietly watched the witch's exit. Cannon approached her from behind and spoke with an expression that was drastically different from hers.
姉さん、あいつと付き合っちゃダメだって言ったじゃないか。
Why? I like
ベアトリーチ
Beatrice.
様はそんなに悪い人じゃない。確かにちょっと怪しいところはあるけれど。
僕たちにしか姿が見えない時点で十分にうさんくさいよ。あいつは人間じゃない。
How is that suspicious for her? Isn't that more suspicious for you guys?
何を企んでるかわかるものか。
カノン君、それは少し失礼だと思うな。
Tell him. There was a touch of sternness in Shannon's voice, which was unusual for her. To Cannon, who knew her well, she must have sounded extremely stern. Cannon, looking excessively surprised considering Shannon's tone, fell silent.
確かにベアトリーチェ様は人間とは違う。恐ろしい力を持っているし、恐れ敬わなければならない存在だと思う。でも、人間とは違うからといって、それだけを理由に意味嫌うのは、とても失礼なことだと思うの。
True. Nothing wrong with not being human.
姉さんの言いたいことはわかるよ。姉さんはあいつにあのブローチをもらってから変わった。まるで魔女の虜だよ。ジョージ様との仲を取り持ってもらって頭が上がらないんだ。
No, that's not how it is. She's her friend.
そんなことを言わないで。
あいつは人間じゃない。
Whoa, what is wrong with you?
何を考えてるかわからない。
This guy's creeping me
だ
out.
から気を許しちゃダメなんだ。
What a busted way of thinking.
そして人間じゃないのは僕らも同じだよ。
You're not
Yes,
furniture, you dummy. Cannon's words grew more serious. Those words probably gouged at Shannon's heart. She bit her lower lip and hung her head.
僕らは家具だ。たとえ名前をもらい人として接してもらったとしても僕たちの生まれが変わるわけじゃない。
You are no longer furniture. Those words Beatrice had given her, which had made her happiest, floated through Shannon's mind.
家具じゃ。 ないよ。
うん。家具だよ。
No,
僕た
you're
ちは
not.
人間未満の存在。
No!
姉さん
Stop
は
saying
そこ
that.
を忘れたふりをして、人間のふりをしているだけ。自分でも分かっているはずだよ。
私、家具じゃないもん。
Keep saying it. Damn right. Damn fucking right, Shannon.
人間じゃない。
Forget this
僕には
edgy
愛する資
loser.
格も愛される資格も初めからない。
Cannon's criticism seemed to have shifted away from Shannon's meeting with the witch. Shannon picked up on that quickly.
お嬢様に聞いたよ。正直。呆れたね。ジョージ様と一緒に旅行に出られるなんて、家具の身の程を忘れてるよ。姉
Shut
さんは
out
あ
of
の
it,
魔女に
Cannon.
そそのかされて、自分が人間になれたと勘違いしてるだけなんだよ。
This dude got issues.
聞いてカノン君。
I mean, he's totally projecting right now, but
確かに私たちは
it's
神だ
still
よ。
shitty.
人間に劣った未満の存在。
That's not true,
でも
actually.
その満たない分をもし得られたなら、それは人間になれたということじゃないのかな。
そんなものありはしないよ。
Why not?
あるの。
Yeah, that's
それを
right.
得たなら、私たちは家具なんかじゃない人間になれるよ。
We can become human.
バカバカしい。なれるものか。
Cannon spat those words out, but did so weakly and turned away. He was probably giving up. After all the suffering he'd undergone during those days he'd lived as furniture, his heart was firmly sealed.
なれるよ。カノン君も普通の人間に。
よしてよ。魔女の受け売りは。
ベアトリーチェ様に教えてもらったの。私たちは世界の一なる元素を得ることで人間になることができる。それを満たさないなら、それは
If they
人
don't
間じゃ
have
ない。
love.
だから人は一なる元素を得るために生涯を尽くし貫いていく。
姉さんが何を言っているのかわからないね。
That's because you're
よ
lonely.
まよい事なら聞きたくないよ。
He needs to get with Jessica already.
ならカノン君にも分かるように教えてあげるね。ほら、姉さんの指の先を見て。
Shannon quietly pointed at the sea towards the horizon. Cannon didn't understand what she meant and couldn't do anything except look between the horizon and Shannon's expression, which seemed to be posing a riddle.
カノン君は海が何色に見える？
It was an extremely simple question. For a while, Cannon tried to guess the meaning behind it, but he couldn't think of anything, so he answered obediently.
パッとしない。ネズミ色だよ。それが何？
Objectively speaking, the sea, laid out beneath the cloudy sky, could probably be described by Cannon's words. But as Shannon closed her eyes and smiled, she shook her head slightly.
私には真っ青に見える。
そういう意味？緑色の信号を青っていうようなものでしょ。
違うの。海は真っ青。私には分かって、カノン君には分からないなら、これがつまりそういうことなの。
She said, I'm built different. Cannon bit his lower lip and was silent for a while.
わからないよ。
カノン君、手を出して。
As Cannon was taken aback, unable to understand what she was saying, she took his arm and opened the palm of his hand. Shannon softly said something there. Is it the butterfly? Yeah. It was that magic brooch which she had received from Beatrice. A magic charm shaped like a golden butterfly that could bring love to fruition.
あいつの。
これは私の。だから私だと思って粗末にしないで。
After being spoken to like that, he couldn't just throw it away. Cannon didn't know what he should do, and he just stood there confused for a while, the brooch still on the palm of his hand. Shannon put the palm of her hand on top of Cannon's, and the brooch was warmed by both of their hands.
これは本当の魔法の力を持ったお守り。きっとカノン君に大切な気持ちを教えてくれると思うの。
あいつの魔法で教えられることなんて何もない。
あるの。だから身につけて、恥ずかしければ懐に忍ばせておくだけでもいいそうなの。
バカバカしい。あいつの魔法なんかに惑わされてたまるか。
Even as he said that, Cannon couldn't be cold-hearted towards something Shannon was urging him to take. In the end, Cannon took it and agreed reluctantly, saying he'd prove that he wouldn't surrender to the witch's power. Shannon smiled and nodded back.
きっとカノン君は大切なことを学べるよ。きっと人間になれるから。そうすればきっとカノン君にもこの海が美しい青に見えるに違いない。
ネズミ色は何度見たってネズミ色さ。
I think I'm gonna switch over here, like save here and switch over to